Okay, so we're going to look at area of triangle. Your formulas in your log tables is a half of the absolute value of x1 times y2 minus x2 times y1. Absolute value, so them lines that are just within that formula just mean that the value inside that, if it's negative, absolute value means you just make the value positive at the end. So if it was a half absolute value minus 64, it'd actually be a half value, absolute value, 64. So we'll explain that more in detail as we do our example. To use this formula, as you can see, like there's only two, in the formula here, there's only two coordinate points required, an x1, y1, x2 and y2. So there's no room for a third. And when you think of a triangle, like if I draw a triangle here, there's actually three vertices. So you have the first vertex, the second vertex and the third vertex. So there's something we have to do when it's a triangle, because our formula doesn't allow us to have three vertices. So what we have to do is one of the vertices has to be made into 0, 0. So we can use this when there already is one of them 0, 0, but we can also use it when there's one of them not 0, 0. We just have to make it 0, 0. So the question that we're going to do is we're going to say, find the area of the triangle ABC with the vertices 1, 2, 4, 5 and 3 minus 4. So we'll just write them three out. So 1, 2, 4, 5 and 3 minus 4. Now if I was to label these, I'd have like x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3, but we don't have, in the formula we can't allow for that, so and we will never come across an x3, y3 on our course. So I have to make one of these 0, 0. So I'll pick the first one and I want to make it 0, 0. So what you have to ask yourself is, how did I make that 1 become 0? How did I make that 2 become 0? So with the 1 I subtracted 1, and with the 2 I subtracted 2 to get 0. Whatever I did to them, I must do to every other, each of the other vertices. So here, the x1 I have to subtract 1, and the y I have to subtract 2. Here I have to subtract 1 from the x, subtract 2 from the y. That will give me 3, 3, 3, and 2 minus 6. So now what's after happening is my 3 points can now be 2 points, because I won't use my 0, 0. So I'll just write the 2 points that I have now, 3, 3 and 2 minus 6. For my formula I said I only needed 2 points. So I got one of them to 0, 0, and then I didn't use that 0, 0, so these become my 2 points now. x1, y1, x2, y2. Now I'm able to fill that into my formula. So it's really important, remember, that's really important. You have to get one of the points to 0, 0, whatever you did to them, you do to the other 2 points, and they become your vertices. This is called translation. Right, so now I have my 2 points, so I've put my formula. So it was a half on x1 times y2. Remember, they're stuck together, therefore they're multiplying. And x2 times y1. Okay, so I'll have a half on my bracket. x1 was 3, y2 was minus 6, minus x2 was 2, y1 was 3. Bracket. So I'm going to have a half on minus 18 minus 6. So it's a half on minus 24. As I said, these here, the brackets are called absolute value. And it means if we get a negative number, we just make it positive. So we just make it positive. So we're going to have a half on 24. They're just like multiplying brackets, so that's actually 12 square units. So the area of triangle was 12 square units. And that's how we find the area of the triangle when you're given your 3 points. So